All right, let's talk about something that's, well, it's kind of strange. It's that feeling you get when everything is finally calm, but instead of relief, you feel like something's just wrong. I mean, have you ever felt that? Everything's going great, there's no major drama on the horizon, but instead of kicking back and enjoying it, there's this knot in your stomach. You're restless, maybe even a little suspicious of all the quiet. Yeah, that's exactly what people mean when they say they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And look, this isn't about being a pessimist. It's a very real psychological thing that happens. So today, we're going to unpack exactly what's going on inside our heads.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The first big idea we have to tackle is this paradox. Why on earth would peace feel wrong?
Well, it kind of boils down to this. If you grow up in a really chaotic, high-stress situation, stability just feels weird. It's foreign. Your nervous system literally gets used to being on high alert, so when things are calm, it doesn't think, oh great, we're safe. It thinks, whoa, this is different. What's about to happen? Our brains are just wired to see anything unfamiliar as a potential danger. So, okay, if this is a real thing, does it actually have a name? Yep, and that brings us to our next part, the disaster syndrome. It's not just some vague anxiety, it has an actual name, the waiting for disaster syndrome. And that name, it pretty much nails it, right? It's that feeling of being on edge precisely when things are good. And here's the thing, it's a learned response. If your life has taught you that every calm moment is just the quiet before the storm, well, your brain learns to brace for the storm instead of enjoying the quiet. Okay, let's kind of map this out so it's super clear. We start with the feeling itself, right? That unease when things are calm. Now, we know what to call it, the waiting for disaster syndrome. But that just leads to the real question, doesn't it? What's actually causing it? And to answer that, we've got to look at our own biology. This next part is all about the body's alarm system. This is where we get to the why of it all. The root cause? It's something called toxic stress. And look, we all have stress, right? That's normal. But toxic stress, that's a whole different beast. It's what happens when your body's stress system is cranked up to 11 for a long, long time. And it just gets overloaded. It stays switched on, especially when you don't have those supportive relationships to help you calm down and feel safe. Probably the easiest way to think about this is like a smoke alarm. Okay, so normally there's a threat, a fire, and the alarm goes off. Your body pumps out stress chemicals like adrenaline to get you ready to act. Simple. But with toxic stress, that alarm gets stuck. It just stays on. It's blaring away 24/7, even when there isn't a hint of smoke in the air. And when you put them side by side, the difference is huge. A healthy alarm, it does its job and then it shuts off when the danger is gone, letting you rest. But that stuck alarm from toxic stress, it never turns off. It's just constantly flooding your system with those fight or flight chemicals. And that makes it pretty much impossible to ever feel truly relaxed, even when you're completely safe.
So let's go back to our mind map. We've got the feeling, we've got the name for it, and now we have the biological cause, toxic stress. Or, as we're calling it, a stuck alarm system. So, what's the result of living your whole life with an alarm that's always going off?
Yeah, what happens when that faulty alarm is just your new normal? That brings us to our last piece of the puzzle, understanding chronic vigilance. Think about it. If your internal alarm is just screaming danger, danger, danger all the time, what's your brain going to do? It adapts. It learns it has to be on guard, constantly scanning everything and everyone for the next bad thing. That state of being permanently on high alert, that's what's called chronic vigilance. You're basically always bracing for impact. And there you have it. That's the whole chain reaction, all laid out. It starts with that weird, uneasy feeling when things are quiet. We give it a name, waiting for disaster syndrome. We find the cause, toxic stress, that stuck alarm. And we see the result, the state of chronic vigilance. So, here's the most important takeaway from all of this. If any of this is sounding familiar to you, please know this is not something wrong with you. It is not a personal failing or a character flaw. It's your body's old alarm system still trying to do its job. It's still trying to protect you from a danger that hopefully isn't even there anymore. And it really leaves us with one big, powerful question, doesn't it? If your brain has become so good at being wired for disaster, how do you start to rewire it for peace? How do we actually learn to trust the quiet again?